Get ready. It's time. Christina, Katherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Katherine.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli.
What is she doing?
Welcome Lisa back to
The Cimorelli podcast. Hey! Welcome. Wait. I didn't hear what you said. What episode number is this? This is 110. I genuinely was not trying.
I just told her.
I know. I didn't take it as information that I needed. My brain went irrelevant, but it wasn't irrelevant. It was relevant. So welcome back to welcome to episode 110. What? How have we done 110 episodes, guys?
That's a lot.
That is
That
crazy.
is a lot of episodes.
Today we're talking about part 2, right, of postpartum body image.
Ooh.
Continuing from
Fitness,
last time, all that, right? Yeah, because we
Yes.
just every time we pick one of these gargantuan topics, we realize we have so much to say. We can't fit into one episode. So here's part 2. Oh, there's something in my
I'm
eye.
excited. Yeah, we got so into it last time, Kath, Lisa, and I. Oh, and we were like, we need to keep talking about this.
There's just so much to say
We were
about
like
it.
puppies that were chained. We were like, let us free.
Well, it's one of those things
What?
where
We're just like, we have more to say.
you hear about it a lot, but once it happens to you, you're like, whoa, so much I didn't realize. So we're
I gotta
gonna
talk about it.
get into all of that and let us know your comments along in the comments.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so let's start with our highs and lows of the week. Ladies, jump in.
You jump in.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'll
jump
jump
in.
in. Okay,
You
so
get
mine is
dressed.
kind of like a pregnancy symptoms update, basically. So my low is that I feel like pregnancy is really hitting. I'm almost 26 weeks now. It's like, it's hitting me. It's hitting me, unfortunately, because I'm like really close to the third trimester. So
Wow.
we'll see what happens.
That's so
but I
exciting.
got round ligament pain. I got C-section scar pain. Luckily, I'm seeing a physical therapist.
Ouch.
And then
I didn't know that was a thing.
yes,
It makes sense though. It's like stretching the scar.
it's not. It's not
I'm
right.
sorry.
And then let's see. Let me go through the list. I got last night. I was up boiling hot for an hour.
Oh my
and
gosh,
I
I
couldn't
hated
turn the
that.
cold air on because Nick is always really hot, and he said it was cold in there. So I was like, I can't freeze everyone else out of the house.
Stand in front of the fridge.
I was like, it's time for my own personal fan, is what it's time for. So I need to
Yeah.
get a fan in there just for me. So I was up for an hour, just like,
downstairs.
Sleep in the freezer.
yes,
Burning.
I'm gonna get my own fan. That's the
We
thing.
have
in a
a
bed of
fans
ice.
downstairs if you'd like one.
I think I have one at my house
They
because
should
we
have
used to use one.
they should have like
No.
mattress things where you can like put it on your mattress and you like put it in the freezer and sleep on it. Like it's
Don't they
opposite
have,
of a
like,
heating
temperature
pad. It's like a
thing?
cooling
Yeah,
pad.
they should. Let's see what else. And then, heartburn.
Oh.
It's not as bad as it will be. I already know. In the end, it's gonna get treacherous. It got so bad.
People don't realize when you say heartburn
It
in
was
pregnancy,
so
it's not.
bad.
Oh, a little heartburn.
Yeah, it's
It
not
is
that.
debilitating.
It's like you want to kill someone.
You wake up in the middle of the night and you're like,
You literally
want
wanna
to
kill
is
someone.
on fire and it's so uncomfortable that you can't
What did they
sleep.
do?
I can't explain. It just
Who
hurts
you wanna kill?
so.
No, you don't. I didn't want to kill anyone. I
I
just
wanted to kill someone last
It was
time.
like, well, I guess
Not
this
feel
is
it.
going into
It
the episode
hurts
already.
so bad.
Postpartum stuff. I just would I felt a burp coming on, and if I burped lying down, it would go bleh, all this acid. But if I sit up and burp, I could avoid it, or I'd wake
I
up.
could
I
never.
could feel it coming. So
Okay,
I'd grab
that's
my
pretty
Tums.
bad.
No,
Oh.
I could not control it with Tums. It
Yeah,
was like,
mine was
it's GERD.
uncontrollable.
It's in your
It
throat,
was
and it's just
so
a burning.
bad. It was like
and
severe.
pulsing. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
horrible.
it was.
I would say
Don't
mine was
love that.
debilitating.
So
You know what though? I had to eat small meals every 2 hours for diabetes, so I was never
Small meals
overloading my
does
stomach.
help. And it's hard not to do it unless you have a reason you have to do it. It's so hard to eat a
The more
small
that you
meal
stuff yourself,
in
the more
pregnancy.
And I couldn't
bloats
eat my
you.
No, you're
trigger
right.
foods, which were like salsa, Mexican food,
You're so
chocolate.
right.
I couldn't
No
eat any of those.
Mexican food.
Yeah. And then the worst, my least favorite thing right now is the SI joint pain. So the SI, I don't really quite understand.
What is that?
It's like it's like the bottom of like your lower back, upper
Top of your butt, bottom of your
hips, kind
Okay.
of. I don't know, like where things are connecting. I don't know. Look it up. I don't know exactly. I have to look it up more now. But it's like they're really inflamed. So they just get aggravated by things all the time. But then if you sit for too long, they get really aggravated. It kind of feels like pregnancy arthritis also, like in your hands. I haven't gotten that yet, but it feels maybe it's similar to that.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't gotten it
Pregnancy
yet.
is so weird.
But I had it last time. Yeah, I had it last time.
What a weird thing.
So
Wow.
anyway, it's not my fave, and I know it's I'm not even to the like really hard part yet. So I'm like, but hopefully with my consistent like stretches and walks and stuff that I'm really back on track now. Maybe that will help. So yeah, it's like you walk a lot, aggravated. You sit a lot, aggravated. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. Okay, so then my high is that, so I was talking last time about how I was not sleeping very well at all. And even though last night was kind of rough still, Barrett is back on track with sleep. The last thing we're on is naps are like almost there, but yeah, naps are almost there for the most part. Everything else back on track because we worked with his sleep consultant who does a non-cried out, very gentle sleep training situation, and we got back on track in a week and a half, and now he's back to 7 to 7, and I feel so much better and so much less stress. So yeah, my life is way better now. So that's that's a huge high for me. Huge high. So next.
So I had a wild weekend. I would say this is all encompassing of a high into a low, but it was the high overpowered it. But start with my high. My high, I went to 2 concerts in one weekend. Saturday and Sunday back to back.
That'd be my low.
It was so fun. I haven't been out past 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock in like 2 years.
Oh,
2 years. And I love going out at night. I kept saying I miss the feeling of being outside after the sun goes down. The warm summer air.
The stars in the sky.
I even started sitting on my porch to get the feeling back. But anyway,
okay,
I love
you
it.
needed to do this.
Oh, so I went and saw The Story So Far, and so good. I told Amy.
How does everyone know who that is?
You please.
So good.
And you know what? I only knew like 3 of the songs they played, but it was an emotional moment. I was like,
I love it.
I would die to see that song.
and my husband like is friends with them or whatever, so we got to stand by the soundboard, so I wasn't in the crowd being jostled about. It was great.
Did you wear your earplugs?
Oh yeah.
Lisa always wears her earplugs
brought
at
my
concerts.
earplugs.
So you
Well, a
guys
few
know.
times I didn't, and I really regretted it. And then we saw 9 Inch Nails the next day. That was a little bit
Different?
not quite my thing. It was a little dark.
Is that like screamo or what is that?
No, it's like industrial metal 80s like
It's like EDM metal.
no, not quite EDM, but it's electronic. It's weird.
It's from like the olden days.
Wow.
It was still really fun to go to this beautiful venue that they played outside, and the show was so inspiring because he's such an artist, and it was like I learned all the stuff. Again, my husband knows people on the tour. They're like, oh yeah, he built the set himself and did all this cool stuff and designed
That's
it
cool.
from top
Oh,
to
that's
bottom.
iconic.
So it's just really inspiring to like, I love witnessing things like that. Even if I'm not into the music, I'm like, I can respect that. That is cool. So it was just a sight to behold. It was very, very cool. And it was fun to get out again. And that one, the Saturday night concert didn't start until 10:15. Sunday started at 8:30, so it was a little better. But
10:15 start?
yes,
Were there like
till
50
midnight.
bands?
That's
there was a bunch of
wild.
bands.
Oh,
But-
okay.
So the low was, of course, you can see where this is going. Okay, Saturday night, Lily slept all night. So we came home, went to bed. I got like 7 hours of sleep. It was great. Not bad at all. Felt good. The next night, she went to bed great. And we're like, oh, cool. Gonna be the same thing. I am getting into bed at 12:30. And then I hear, I was like, uh-oh. And then I have to go in and help her. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to sleep now. Oh, I'm so tired. And I put my sleeping mask on. I go to bed. And then 3:50. And I was like, oh no. So I'm like, okay, whatever. She fell asleep quick earlier. I go in, try to rock her back to sleep. She's just not going back to sleep. And after 40 minutes, I was like, I gotta call for backup because I need to go to bed. I'm so tired. So I go, I'm like, Chad, you gotta take her. Like, I can't do this. I'm so tired. So then he goes in, tries for like 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And she just like, what? She like wants to play. She's just like not tired. I'm like, it's 4:30 in the morning. And then finally she was kind of just like, and I was like, I think she has teething pain. I think she can't go back to sleep. So I gave her some medicine and then she passed out. So I was like, all right. Or I drugged her. Who knows? I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. She has 4 teeth coming in at once. So
That's a lot of teeth.
yeah. So finally she went back to sleep, but I got 5 chopped up hours of sleep that night. And the whole day I was like Like I fell asleep involuntarily
Ugh.
after I put her down for a nap. I just went on the couch and I was like, I was drooling on the pillow. I was so tired. But again, the whole weekend was worth it for that, but it was rough. So and then today, the day after, I had to go to an 8:30 doctor appointment for her in like far away.
my
So I had to
gosh.
like get up at 7 and I was like, no. It was horrible.
That is wild.
That's rough.
It was all worth it. I would do it in a heartbeat again, but you know, that's
Yeah,
my
that's
high
rough.
into a low. But I'm still feeling the high. I'm like, and I'm going out again this Saturday. Oh my god! Just once, not back to back, not a 2-for-1.
Oh, I'm so
but-
happy
I'm like,
for you.
when I look at my weekend and I see nothing on Saturday, I'm like, oh, yes.
Hey, I relate to that too. There's different seasons for different reasons.
I never really want something to be on the weekend.
Good for you.
But that's good. That's good. Living
I'm happy
the
for you,
lifestyle
Lisa.
that
I think
fulfills
that's-
you.
I feel like I'm glowing.
You know,
even with
I
my.
think you are.
I'll go from there because I similar thing because I had a good weekend. Yeah. And I actually did stuff. I went out dancing.
Oh, wait, I saw that.
I went out on
Yes.
the town.
Oh yeah, you danced 6
for
miles.
like 3
It
hours.
was
Oh my gosh.
hard.
saw
Yeah,
your
it was
stories.
6 miles.
We
that
went
I
out.
danced.
That's wild.
That's like, you could run a marathon.
What?
Yeah.
It's 26.
I mean, if you were jumping around the whole time,
Well, let me tell you, it was more like really
Spurt.
intense dance and then
take a break.
taking a nap, standing up for a second, and then really intense dance, and then like. So it wasn't
Laura, I
really
bet
like
you working
that.
on your pull-up goal probably helped. You probably have more
yeah.
strength.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
could sustain
I was
6
really
miles
going
of
for
dancing. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was hard.
That was just really fun. I had a great time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I also
Your
just
wild
like
fun weekends.
I just did like a lot of fun like social activities on the weekend, and it was just like fun.
Good.
So that was my high, yeah. And then my low, maybe today, just like I just woke up and I just felt like like I was so tired and I was
Sleep
like,
inertia.
why am I tired? I slept so much and I just was like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, I feel that.
And like now I feel better after like getting into the groove of the day. But just this morning I just felt so like I was hit by a truck and like, there's so much going on this week and so much to do today. Like, you know, okay, for me there's a difference between having a lot of things to do versus having a lot of things that like you must absolutely do. And it could be I could do the same amount of things in the day, but when it's things that I know I can't really like
Get out
push or skip, then it just feels like so much more, even though it's the same amount of things.
Yep.
Because it's the pressure, you know, put it on
Yeah,
yourself.
it's like if I feel like,
Have to measure
okay,
up.
this is technically I could do this tomorrow,
yeah.
then I feel like, okay.
I could do it today.
Versus I must absolutely do this today. I have to do it today. Then I'm just like, it just feels like so much more work, even though it's the same amount of work. So
Yeah.
that's how I felt today.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
that.
it's like you
And
don't
it
have a
was
choice
just a
in it,
lot.
and that sucks.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
guess that's how you guys feel every day with your children, though, because it's like you have to
No,
do
I feel
it.
like acceptance. I feel acceptance. I'm
Yeah.
like, it has to be
But
done.
I'm saying that thing of like, I have to do this. You can't just push it off
Yeah.
to tomorrow.
You take a day
You
off.
get used to it though. You know when you go on a mission
Yeah.
trip and you're like, all right, we're gonna get up at 6 and you're not going to bed till 10 and you're gonna do weeding in someone's garden all
Yeah.
day. But then you're like, oh yeah, I have to do this. You're not gonna
You just
sit in the
accept it.
room.
Yeah.
You get like
Yeah.
used to this labor of love.
But I will
Yeah.
say there is these certain moments where I think like if I feel like, you know, the twins are sick and I panic, like what if I get sick? Because I feel like I'm already at max capacity and I'm like there's 10 baby events to take care of. 5 bottles, a solid feeding, 3 naps, and bedtime. So I'm like there's 10 activities that take effort that I have to do. And if I have no energy, I'm like how am I going to get through it?
Well, yeah, and that's what it was, because I didn't feel
it's like
like
no
good
breaks.
this morning. But I'm like, I have to do this stuff.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, that's
it's like there's no
annoying.
room for like
But
being
then
sick,
it's like,
'cause
yeah,
all
I
on
got
you.
up, I ate breakfast, I got into it, and I felt fine. But it's just initially, I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm trapped in a cage.
What about you two?
Amy, do you wanna go?
ladies?
Sure.
Denim
okay.
one?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so let's think. I would say going out was like it was a pretty good high, but it was also annoying.
Yeah, you were kind of like,
I was like,
Were you panicking?
you were kind of like the goth in the
no,
corner
I
vibe.
was like,
I was like,
I was triggered for many reasons. Okay.
in the corner.
What? There's literally.
Wait, were you wearing all black?
Yes, we switched personalities for the night. I don't know what
That's
happened.
so weird.
Because I was triggered for like just First of all of our entire group shows up head to toe black.
I noticed that.
Not
I was
one
like, "You guys
color.
plan this?"
And that's not us at all.
Yeah.
No, we did not
I
plan
did
it.
have one color. I
Wait,
had
is
a few
this,
colors.
are you saying the low or the high?
This is, it
It's
was a high,
both.
but it was
I
also
don't
kind of
know.
annoying.
It's a high, low mix.
It was fun
It's a
going
hard
Hard
out.
to read
high-low.
between the lines here.
Okay, give us
Having
what
a
was the
hard
It was
high
time.
of
fun
it.
going out, but then it was also kind of annoying at the same time.
So what was the
Yeah.
high of
So
it?
it's
The
like a high and
enjoyable
a low.
part. Tell us the
Because like
enjoyable
dancing
part.
was really fun, and I liked being in the crowd and like being like, "Ooh, that song's so fun." But then I also my feminist side takes over many a time, and I protest many a song. So I have to sit down
Okay,
and just
I
be like,
relate to
"I can't
Amy.
hear this."
I
one."
get
you
so
can't
triggered.
take it too personal.
I just get so
Like,
triggered.
I
I'm like,
get
"You're
so
objectifying women
triggered.
right now. I can't dance freely."
Yeah,
Yes,
so many songs
I
are
relate.
so offensive
I
to
just
women.
can't do
it's
it.
really annoying.
So then I do a little bit of protesting, but I try to not to do too much because I don't want to be annoying.
And then I like look around at all the girls. I'm like, you don't look like you're in a safe position. Are you in a safe position? And I start worrying
Exactly.
about everyone. That's my
What
problem
you gotta
too.
do is yell out the edited
That's my
version and be
problem.
like, I want to respect you.
Yeah.
And then you feel better because you're like, yeah,
It
respect
was
me.
really fun though, dancing and stuff. But by the end, I was dancing and I was like,
Hey, that's the fun part when you're like,
It was
I don't even know what I
wild.
look like right now. I haven't even thought about it. And you're like,
yeah. And then like it was also triggering because like the last guy that I was with loves Broadway, so I was there and I was like,
Oh, did you
Ew.
see?
hey, that'll
No.
do it right
Okay.
there. That'll
I
do
was
it.
just like,
But you
that's,
feel like every minute you might see them and you're like,
ugh.
Or you're just thinking about them.
Yeah, and you're thinking about like, oof. It's like you left me for another woman, but like no.
So a high turned low,
Yeah.
turned high.
It was really
A
good. Though.
high-low
It was
mix.
fun bonding with the
a high
gals.
low.
A simultaneous
Right.
high low.
okay,
Yes.
Milo,
like a skirt, like those dresses.
my high low was no, it was just a low. It was just a low. It was the night that it was supposed to be Max's birthday dinner. It was my husband's birthday, and we had these plans
I
to go
forgot
out to this nice restaurant that we
I
like.
forgot to text him.
Oh, it's
Forgot
okay.
to do that right now.
Okay, he'll still appreciate a belated text.
I
Yesterday.
meant to.
Wait,
I
yeah,
just
what happened?
forgot.
So, well, over the weekend, we were like, okay, he works on Mondays really early. Let's celebrate over the weekend. So we planned to go to this nice restaurant. We had a babysitter and everything. And then the day before, the twins had fevers. And I was like, I'm not going to have a babysitter come over when they have fevers. So we just like stayed home all weekend and just laid low. But I think they had like a stomach bug because
It's going around.
yeah, it's really going around. And they
Everything is going around. Can we just?
so I was like, oh, okay, plan B. I will make a nice dinner for Max. I went to the store. We were having steaks with Brussels sprouts and mashed potatoes, and I made an apple pie. So we had this great meal plan, and I bought like red roses, and I was gonna do candles. So I was like gonna make it this nice, like at home romantic dinner. Well, the twins had other plans for my romantic dinner.
They pooped on the table.
No, they were so fussy because they didn't feel good. You can't blame them, poor guys. So like, they did not want to be put down at all. So I'm literally, well, they would for like a couple minutes on the mat, and then they'd be like, "Bah, Mom, pick me back up." So I was like running back and forth between the kitchen and the twins, and Max was mowing the lawn for 3 hours. What?
Listen, it takes a long time.
Okay,
I did it
just
one
watched
time.
Nick do it.
It was so long.
What happened was the battery kept dying. This has never happened before. Something's wrong
He
with our-
doesn't normally take 3
No,
hours.
no,
I thought you
no.
meant he just like does some.
Well,
he has
we
a scissors.
special-
He's out there with
No,
some
we
nail
actually have
cutter.
a lot of grass, so he usually takes like an hour and a half, but 3. And I kept saying, "You almost done?" And it kept breaking. So I was getting more and more stressed because it took me so long to make the pie.
Oh, no.
And then the dinner, I didn't even have anything ready, and it was like time to put the twins to bed. It was like 7:30, and I was like,
Girl, this is when you call
And then
Taziki's,
the
gets delivered.
twins-
Honestly,
know.
I should
Throw
have
in the towel.
But
Would've been a
I
good
had bought
idea.
all
Throw
this
in the
food,
towel.
and I just wanted to make it, and I was like,
Yeah,
so I
I
kept
get
thinking,
it.
okay, we're just gonna put the twins to bed, and then we can do it after they go to bed. They did not want to go to sleep. It took 45 minutes to get them down, and then every 30 minutes, one of them woke up crying for like the next 2 hours. And then I got a text from a friend that really upset me, and so then I was in tears.
Oh no!
And then I was like, "I'm sorry, Max. I'm ruining your special night." I was like, "I'm in such a bad mood because everything is going wrong."
Need like a do-over.
No,
Yeah.
we
Like
are.
with
We
the
were like,
babysitter
okay,
or
we're gonna
something.
go to dinner like a couple weeks. We're actually going on a trip next week, so that'll be really
You
fun.
need a
Hopefully,
There you go.
But and we did have a nice dinner last night. Well, it was just takeout, but we
Hey.
still we celebrated on his actual birthday too, so that was
That's
good.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just felt bad because I was
Okay, that's
like crying and ruining his special night.
Yeah.
because I could not.
It's okay, Kat.
Well, Kat, you can always reschedule.
Oh,
If
yeah.
things don't go like you want the first time, you can just Celebrating.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
Nick's birthday this year. I was really, really sick with pregnant morning sickness. Not morning. It was night. It was all day.
Day sickness.
And all I could do was make him peanut butter cookies. Was the most energy, and I
Aw.
almost died to make the cookies. I was like, I can't do it. I can do it. I just gotta get up. And that's all. I was like, I made you cookies. Oh God. That's all I did. I was like, sorry, I didn't do anything special.
I think that just like when it's like a birthday that's like it was his 30th, you know, it feels like it's like a big birthday. Like every decade birthday is big. But I did, you know, one thing that did go well was I put together a compilation of videos from family and friends for him, and he really enjoyed that.
I forgot to
I
That's
didn't
okay. You guys
either.
can always send me one. He appreciates the videos.
Man, you didn't give me a deadline.
Yeah, you didn't give
I
us a
didn't know when it
deadline.
was
I
happening.
thought she did.
No, I said I need them by Friday. So
Well,
I
you
can
never
then I
reminded
felt like-
again, Kat.
gotta remind us on
maybe you
Friday.
were doing it later.
Oh, I just didn't want to badger people.
If you're on Friday, like, hey guys,
well,
here's
if,
the deadline.
well, if someone had
Yeah.
said like, oh yeah, I want to do
Mark,
one, then
if
I
you
would have
wanted
probably
to, you
texted
would
them
have,
again.
okay.
I did want to.
We did.
No,
We
it's
just
okay.
did yesterday.
It's okay, guys.
Later.
It's okay. It's fine.
I was gonna
he
try to get
appreciated
Barrett to say like, happy birthday.
Oh, so guys, you can still do it. We're celebrating the family this
But
weekend.
you already did the compilation.
I know, but
Yeah.
mom and dad sent theirs like 2 days after I showed it to him, and I just showed them individually, and he appreciated it. So,
Okay, wait. So is that?
so yeah, I would say
Just
the
your
fact
love?
that we still celebrated, you know, in some way is, I guess, the high.
Good for you,
I know, the
Kat.
twins are still not sleeping well, so it's, they were up like every 1 to 2 hours,
my
so
gosh.
it's very stressful. But yeah,
Okay. So that was a long high
That
lows.
was
I'm sure you
really
guys probably liked that, but it was long. So I'm gonna skip reading comments from the previous episodes. We'll just do that next time. And I forgot to mention that every other. Wait, I don't know if this is a YouTube. No, it's going to be on YouTube anyway. Every episode, the full thing is on Patreon only. So join Patreon to get all the full episodes and past episodes as well. Check it out. Try for like a month and see what you think. And I want to thank all the patrons so much for supporting us. It really means a lot to us. And I know that you guys, the podcast is like really helpful for a lot of you guys. So I'm really happy and we're continuing it for you guys. We love doing it too. So thank you so much. So our 5 perspectives, let's do like a lightning 5 perspectives, right?
Okay, lightning round.
So here's the question. Would you rather have a free housekeeper or a personal chef for life? Go.
Housekeeper.
Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Housekeeper, because I like to cook.
I need to get things swept. And
Chef.
I
Dang
am not good at it.
Chef.
Oh,
Or a free chef.
why would you
Chef.
Chef.
Because I feel like someone else taking care of my stuff is a little weird, but someone else cooking everything, normal for me.
Oh, okay.
It all sounds amazing to me, but I never cook, and I could use some help in the diet department of eating a variety of
You
Yeah.
can just make it.
Cooking
Chef.
is
Think about
harder
it.
to me than cleaning is.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'll clean.
Yeah.
Or I'll just pay someone else to clean if I don't get the free housekeeper.
Yeah.
That is really hard because I really enjoy cleaning and I really enjoy cooking, but they are both really stressful.
Oh, which
different
one do I
times.
want to give up?
No, think about it. Cleaning is relaxing.
You can clean.
I love cleaning.
Cooking can be
Just
I will
because
not
you
give
have
it
a
up.
free housekeeper doesn't mean you can't clean.
Okay,
Okay,
here's
that's
what
a
would be
good
even
point.
better
Still
than both of
cook,
those
too.
things. You magically get all the groceries you need delivered without having to sit through and make the whole
Okay.
list.
Oh,
you
that's a
know
good
what,
one.
That
Kat?
takes up so much time for me every week.
I really like cooking. This is really hard. Okay, I guess like I guess no house cleaner.
Ooh, better would be
They'll clean
free
everything, and then I can
childcare.
just focus
Yeah, you
on
love
the
cooking.
meals. But cleaning is like my relaxing thing I do on the weekends. So
You can
Get
still
a
do
hobby.
it.
that is my
You know
hobby.
what? You could have them do certain tasks and leave you
Yeah.
some to do on the weekend.
You can be
that
like
you
Barrett
wanted
and
to
go
do.
right behind
let's go.
them.
You can right behind
Okay,
them.
lightning round, moving on. Okay, so we're getting to the main topic, which is postpartum. Okay, so we talked about this in, was it the last episode?
Yes, I think so.
Right?
Actually, I
And
don't know how I
Amy
answer that. I
Amy
don't
and
know.
Lauren are the hosts.
We are hosting.
And we didn't get through everything we had written down as usual, so we're like, we can't just cut. Normally we just cut it off and go to the next episode, but we're
Yeah.
like, no. Now we're trying to continue things when we have more to say, because I think that's a better idea.
It's worth saying.
All right, let's just get right into it then.
Let's do
So
it.
body image, fitness, health.
The way this is written is a little strange, but body image and bounce back culture. How did that affect you?
That is not badly written.
No, it's a little
I feel like it sounds
confusing.
professional to me.
Maybe really quick. I mean, I always think like, what if there's someone who hasn't seen the podcast before? Maybe we should just say really quick, how long postpartum are you or something? Or what's your
I
situation?
am 9.5 months postpartum.
21, I think.
and pregnant with her
And pregnant.
21.
Woot woot.
And almost 7 months pregnant. Not 7 yet. Like six months pregnant.
I am 7.5. Almost 8 months postpartum.
They're
All
almost
right.
the same.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Very close.
Okay, so how did bounce back culture affect you? Well, for me personally, it's really okay. I feel like when we talked about this last time, this topic, not this specific question, we didn't do this. It's just making me think so much. I'm like, man, I wish I had journaled about all these things a lot more deeply because I think I have a lot more to think about. That's what I'm realizing.
Yeah.
But
well, here's the thing. You're like trying to keep this person alive, trying to make sure they sleep, trying to make sure they eat. It's like, I don't feel like I've had enough time to really process everything. It's like you don't sit there and go, gosh, I gotta lose weight. How am I gonna do it? Let me have this long, drawn out discussion with myself. At least me personally, it's like, it's more like flashes of thoughts that hit you and things you see where you're like, and you don't, and then you realize later, oh wow, I'm going down a road right now. For me,
yeah, it's hard to have a continuous
it's
train
not
of
so
thought
conscious because you're so
then you're
busy.
Like, oh, the baby just pooped on me.
Yeah, well,
Can't think about it
you always
anymore.
have something you have to do or something that's coming
You're
up
like,
of a
oh,
nap or a
I gotta
bottle.
feed them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But-
I feel like I'm confused. It's confusing too what people define as bouncing back. Is it just losing baby weight ever, or is it
I think
a certain
it's
time
going
period?
back,
right?
Going back to how you were before,
Pre-pregnancy,
basically.
in a quick amount of time, in
I
6
think
months,
it's like bounce back.
in a year,
yeah,
in
I think
6
it's seen.
months.
I think it's seen as quick.
It's not
Yeah.
like slowly journeying
I think it's
back.
seen as like
Okay.
in a couple months. You
Yeah.
just go right back to how
okay,
you
well,
were.
I guess I didn't expect myself to do that. So I didn't expect myself to snap. And although I was like, because after I said this in the last one, after I had the baby, I was like, whoa, I'm the smallest person that ever lived. Because my bump was gone and I could like shimmy through a doorway.
The smallest person that
Like
ever
I felt so
lived.
small. But then I was like, okay, well, wait, what's going on here? This is kind of weird. Like, what is that thing I'm looking at, and what's going on, and like, when does this go away? And then I start slowly getting into walking and things, but I started to feel that thing of like, okay, so now it's gonna go back to normal, and then I was like, wait, it's not. Wait, what?
That's relatable.
But a good thing we're doing part 2 because I just got my blood work back and I'm pre-diabetic, so that's affecting my
That's
weight.
not back to normal.
So PSA, get your blood work done. Who knows what's going on in there?
Great plan.
Who knows? I had no clue. I was just like, I feel weird. Things aren't functioning like they used to. Let's get checked out. Wow, there's a huge thing that I had no clue about.
Trust your intuition.
Get your blood work done. Go to your OB. Have them look at your hormones or whatever. Yes, look at your hormones, not whatever. Get your hormones tested. Anyway, that's just a side note. Go
I
ahead.
feel like confused. I feel like it's opposite things for me, like two opposite things at once. So I feel like on the one hand, I've seen so much about how you're not gonna bounce right back, so don't be shocked. But then I have seen women who did. They appeared to have bounced back. So I felt like I had both expectations in my head at the same time.
You know what? When I saw
I was
a woman
like, which one am I gonna be?
3
maybe?
months postpartum in this bikini, and I was like,
Oh,
she just had a baby? What? But I knew, I was like, that is not me. That is her, apparently. That is not me. I knew. I didn't expect
think
that
I
for
didn't
myself.
know.
And even someone else who was like, I'm 10 months, a year postpartum, whatever, and I look like this. I was like, that's not me either. Because I'm 9 months postpartum. But it's like, so I guess actually I do see it that way. I'm like, that's not me. That's not happening here. I can't expect that of myself. It's not happening.
I think I kind of had both expectations in my head and was shocked both ways. So I guess it affected me by feeling the pressure and then also really confused because women all have like unique experiences. Because we all don't have the same body, health, everything. Duh. So I think I was just.
You're not pre-diabetic too?
I think it. I don't know. I haven't even been tested for that.
Yeah, now I'm like nervous.
Now I'm like,
I mean, they
I'm gonna
probably
test
did
for
look
that
at it,
postpartum. No, we
but-
didn't. I have my blood work and we
Oh.
didn't test for that.
Why?
I don't.
feel
We
like
didn't
that's a
really
general
do my
health
hormones very
thing.
much.
No, but it's not a
We
hormone.
did like.
Your A1C, right? Is that a hormone?
I don't know what
it's a
we
hormone?
did.
No,
I
yeah,
don't
it's
know
not
what
a
we
hormone.
did, but we didn't do that. Okay,
That's interesting.
You wanna go to
Anyway.
yours?
Oh.
Anyway.
I'm trying to think of what I didn't say already in the other one. I guess there's one thought that I think this probably relates to it. You guys are running with the twins right now. How they both like looking. You're like, oh yeah, because you guys like had the same facial expression. Which twins do a lot. Anyway, not saying you're twins. But
You sure?
but you guys actually just did that really similarly. But so okay, I keep thinking about this thing that Brene Brown has this series, Atlas of the Heart, about emotions, and I really liked it. And she's talking about like compassion and empathy and all this stuff. And she said this thought just keeps ringing in my head, and I feel like I keep thinking about this with my postpartum experience, which is any area that we're judging, we feel shame in. And you don't judge unless you feel shame in that area. And she said parenthood is one of the most common things. I totally, calling myself out here, found myself judging women that were so skinny postpartum.
Anyone that we're judging other people, she's saying?
When you are judging someone, you have shame in the area that you're judging them in.
Well, judging yourself
seems
or
to be
anyone
the
else.
obvious one, but then other
people, yes.
That makes
you're
sense.
judging other people because you're judging yourself.
She's saying that if you ever,
Ashamed.
yes, I totally get that.
Yeah.
If you ever find yourself judging someone else, you're judging yourself.
Yeah, and I think
Yes,
with like,
totally
I
the
think
same
with the problem is there's like
shame in that.
this really narrow mindset about weight in American culture that's like, if you're skinny, you're disciplined, and you are, hardworking, and all these moral things. And if you're
better,
and if you're
it's good.
If you're larger, then you're lazy and you're undisciplined and you're out of control.
You're bad, it's worse.
But it's like I've noticed this, like some people that I know that I've like spent a lot of time with, like on trips or whatever, in like larger bodies, whatever, eat super healthy and don't eat that much or like exercise a lot. And then I have other friends that are thinner that eat whatever they want and don't really seem to put on weight, and also the opposite. So it's like I feel like it's not as nuanced or it's much more nuanced than that. So I was like judging all these women like, oh, they're probably just like not eating enough and all this stuff, and it's like, well, I actually don't know, and so I feel like that's what I'm trying to tell myself with my postpartum experience and bounce back culture is like everyone's bodies are different and everyone's hormones affect so much as we know. So it's like I'm just trying to give myself grace and not compare myself because I don't know what their experience is. I don't know what their hormones, their genetic makeup, their habits, it's all they say like don't look at someone and well, you can do what you want, but it's like they say you shouldn't look at someone and try to assess their health because you can't tell health by the way someone looks.
By looking at them.
So I'm trying to extend myself grace and not judge other people because I don't truly know what's going on with them. I also actually had to mute or unfollow a couple people that did lose weight really quickly postpartum because it felt myself kind of getting boiled into a rage. But one of them also was like kind of like I'm the guru of being a mom too.
You only know your own experience.
And she had twins, and I was like, she's doing so much better than me. She's tandem nursing at 10 weeks or whatever. But I mean, she said though, she was like, don't compare yourself to me because I have all this help, and this is my third and fourth kids.
Yeah, so it's not the same.
Which was really helpful. So it's like, don't compare.
Oh, that's the number one advice right there. If you have just had your first kid, do not compare yourself, for better or for worse, to people who have multiple kids.
It's so different.
They have so much. It's like they have so much more experience. It's like you play basketball recreationally, and you're comparing yourself to an NBA player. Shout out to moms of multiple children. You are an NBA player.
For sure.
I'm not there yet.
Okay,
I'll join you.
So
hostesses.
Okay, our next question is, guys, why am I like? Oh, I'm just nervous. Okay, I don't know how to
Answer it.
It's a deeper question, which I feel bad for smiling, but it's what was your lowest point in your journey?
Hey, people smile when they're nervous.
What was your lowest point with your body
With your
image?
body image in your
postpartum?
postpartum
Not necessarily
journey.
like your worst mental health day,
Yeah,
but like
Like your body image
Yes.
lowest point.
Oh gosh.
I feel like I can pretty easily. Well, does
It's all
this
a
count?
blur.
Does this count as that? I feel like I can pretty easily think of it. I don't exactly remember when it was, but it was in the first couple months, and I just felt like my body was just broken, and I was like, I don't have my body anymore. It's broken. It's not gonna work. It's never gonna go back, and it was just so bad with like I was just sitting down all day. I couldn't really walk, and I felt like, and I had this huge scar. Well, it's not that big actually, but it's big-ish. And I just felt like I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, I don't even know what body this is anymore. It's broken. It looks completely different. It feels completely different. It's not working for me anymore. So yeah, I just felt like it's gone. It's broken. I'm just doomed. And that was a low point because I was like, I'm doomed.
Yeah,
it's over.
So much change at once. There's like a lot of little bad things here and there, but I remember this. Well, where you'll just get a flash in the mirror.
I get what you mean.
But the worst thing that I remember was I must have been like 3, 4, 5 weeks postpartum because my husband was still home. He was not on tour yet. And I remember I was like crying. It was very fresh. So like I hadn't bought any new clothes or like figured anything out.
That is a hard
And
point.
I was like 40 pounds heavier than I was before, but I'd gotten so used to dressing my body with a bump, so I had all these clothes that look a certain way with like this big beach ball, and then you don't have that anymore. It's like, well, I don't want to wear, like, I bought all these tight pregnancy clothes, so that did not.
Postpartum, you're not like,
It's like, I want nothing touching me.
This is so true.
flowy. So I had like nothing to wear, and the end of my pregnancy, I still had nothing to wear. I wore like giant shirts
I
and
relate
shorts.
to everything Lisa says about postpartum.
Thank you.
It's so weird.
I know, I'm just a genius. So, no. So I remember I was crying and I was like, Chad, I can't even fit into my underwear. I couldn't, and because of my scar, I couldn't like, I had nothing to wear, so I had to like sleep in a pair of shorts. I was like, I have nothing. It was horrible. And I was like, I just want to feel like, I don't need to be where I was before, but I just want to feel like somewhat like something I understand, or like everything was so, and I was extremely hormonal because I just had a baby. That's like the craziest time. So it's just like everything's so overwhelming at once, and like, I was like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. And you know what I realized too? When people are like, postpartum is beautiful, love yourself. It's like, okay, yes, but you shouldn't be, they say like, accept yourself as you are. But I think it gets confusing because then you feel like, this is supposed to be great. Because really, it's not just weight gain. It's like, intestines are moving around. Your uterus is huge. There's all these things that are not normal that you shouldn't be holding on to.
Bleeding.
I'm going to accept this and be this way forever. Your hormones are wacky. They're trying to go back to normal. And like, you're bleeding, all this stuff. There's all these things that are like kind of broken about your body because you're recalibrating over a long period of time. So you wouldn't tell someone who just got out of surgery, like my husband, like a crazy thing. You're like,
time.
this is great. You gotta just accept yourself, love this. It's not just the weight gain. It's like a whole thing that's making you feel crazy. So like, you don't have to feel bad about feeling bad. Like, it's kind of expected. Like, it's like being in the hospital when you think about all the things you could do before you were in the hospital and you're like, oh, I miss that. Yeah, it makes sense because your body, you didn't just gain weight. You went through pregnancy. You had a baby. Like all these things are totally out of whack.
Yeah, it's literally like a trauma on your body.
Yes,
it's really traumatic for your body to go
insides
through.
are moving and shifting back to place.
So
it's
much
weird.
change
It's so different
quickly that you can't control.
That's what I realized because I've gained weight in the past. This is nothing like it. Okay, it's a very different process.
Such a good point.
But it made me feel better to realize that later. Like, I felt guilty that I felt so bad about my body, but it's like your body was like in a really weird place, and now I feel like understanding that for my next baby, it will be like, okay, I'm gonna relax. Like, this is fine. It's okay to not feel okay, or to be exhausted, or to want to
shocked. You won't
to
be
want
so
to
shocked,
lay
which is
around
great.
all day. It's like you don't have to get back to it because your body is like, whoa, wiggity wiggity,
There's a lot of
whoa.
shock that happens.
Yes.
You're like shocked
and
by
you
so
don't-
many things.
And there's all these messages about what you should do or should do or shouldn't do or shouldn't do. And it's like, you just gotta be where you are. It's a whole process. It's a whole journey. That's what accept yourself where you are to me is more helpful, where it's like, you are a little broken right now. It's okay. You just had a baby, like emergency exit your body. Like, give it some time. It's okay to feel super weird. But I didn't get that. And I had this whole freak out of like, Anyway.
I think it's everyone. I feel like it's so normal. It's like, how can you not?
Yeah, but then you think, oh, what's wrong with me? Because everyone's telling you, be happy, or like, you're horrible. So it's like,
And then you see someone postpartum and she like did her hair and makeup and is wearing a cute outfit. And you're like, I can't wear anything in my closet. How are you wearing a cute outfit? When's the last time I saw myself in a cute outfit? And then it feels horrible.
Yes.
I think for me, there's like a few different low points, but there was always like a trigger.
Oh, mother.
And it all kind of blurs together because I feel like I was truly like in survival mode, like you guys were saying. It's like,
yeah, you don't
you're
really
just
think
like,
about it that
my baby
long.
literally pooped on me, like, and you're just like, you're trying to just feed yourself. You're like,
Really just peed all over me.
Can't
the
do
other day.
anything, and it's just, and you're not sleeping, so you're like, ooh, I'm sleep deprived, and your body's like hurting. And you're like, I don't know what to
you're
do.
not functioning. You have no sleep. That's
Yeah.
like
So
how you
job
process
one.
Sleep
your
deprivation
emotions.
really, I think, makes you very like you're already hormonally unstable and then you're more unstable.
Oh my
Because of
gosh.
all this
Yeah,
stuff.
how can
and
you
you're
expect-
adjusting and you have all this trauma coming up.
How can you expect to be happy or feel good in that state? Who
Yeah.
feels good? It's like finals week of
Well,
college
maybe
all the
some
time.
people do. I don't know, but
No, I'm saying no. If you are
Right.
sleep deprived, hormonal, all these things.
Yeah.
If someone's sleeping well, they probably don't feel as bad.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like, my
that's
baby
true.
sleeps really
Yeah.
well.
But
That's
I feel like
different.
for me, it was like there was a few different triggers, and one of them was seeing pictures of myself.
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
so hard because
Like
I feel
what?
like it's hard enough. Like even
That's
when
a
I
good
was
point.
a lot
And no
smaller,
one
I
looks
was
as
like,
good in person as
no
they do on
one-
camera. So
Well,
it's different.
I think it's
No,
different.
no, sorry,
one looks
opposite.
as bad.
No one looks
Yeah.
as bad on.
So you're like,
people look worse
that's
on
what
camera.
I look like?
Yes.
Hey, this is something that I feel like. Do you guys know this? On iPhones, when you're on the edge of the frame,
It warps
you look
you.
Yes,
giant.
it warps you.
And there was a couple
Don't
pictures
stand on the edge
where
of the-
you know you don't
of
think
the
about
picture.
those logical things like, oh, it's the edge of the frame that
Yeah.
I always look bad. Even if you weigh 1 pound, you look like you weigh 1,000,000. If
And
you're
your
on
face just doesn't
your
look
face
normal.
goes and just stretches. But seeing those a couple pictures of myself, I remember immediately being
That's a good
triggered and
one.
crying to Max, being like, "This is what I look like." Ah. And then seeing other women who are really, really thin, really quickly, that triggered me because I was like, "Oh, why can't I look like that?" It was the shame, like we said, judgment, shame complex. And then clothes. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
I personally hate this idea of pre-pregnancy jeans, and I think that is like so tyrannical
What
to
is
yourself. It's like you have your jeans that
Fitting
you wore
into your
before pregnancy, and I feel like that's the thing that everyone says. I want to fit into my pre-pregnancy.
Oh,
they want to be
yeah.
the same size that they were when in
because
reality,
your
like,
leggings will stretch and stuff, but jeans
Got it,
are
got it.
like
Yeah, whereas,
so
like,
concrete.
I feel like I've seen
That's
so
such a good point.
many people be super diligent about fitness and diet regimens and still have a hard time losing weight. Like it
Hey, you may
obviously
be
helps,
diabetic.
but it's like, do you really have as much control? Can you really manipulate your body to be the exact number and size you want within a certain number of time?
Yeah, I don't
it's
know
actually
about
harder. It's harder than people think. So
Yeah.
I realized, like, you know how they say, like, in the early 2000s, we had like low-rise jeans, which
Oh my gosh.
literally give you a muffin top, even if you don't have one. Like, and they were like the heroin
Unless they
chic.
fit really loosely, and then they make your butt crack hang out all the time. So you can't win.
So
You can't win.
this is my PSA of what I like realized was I was trying to put on these clothes that I wore before, and seeing myself, I was like, oh, like it looks like you're trying to shove this thing into this other thing, and it creates all of these things sticking out
Yes.
of things that do not look good. So I realized, like, okay, I need to get new clothes that fit the body that I'm at now instead of torturing myself.
and
It
flatter.
really does make you look worse when you wear clothes that don't fit.
If they're
like
too
I noticed
small.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Too
you
small
look
clothes.
Like,
I
like
totally
it makes all
learned
these
that in
rows and
postpartum.
things that you don't necessarily have,
Yes.
and then you wear something that fits. You're like, oh, I don't
Honestly,
look like that.
I learned this from like
I feel
what
like
not
that
to
sounds
wear.
obvious, but it's not
No, it's
obvious.
not.
It's not obvious at all.
on
I totally discovered
on
that.
What Not to Wear, the show, Stacey and Clinton would always be like, your clothing is 2 sizes too small. Do you see how your body's coming out of the clothes?
Yeah.
And then they would have them put on stuff that was 2 sizes bigger, and they looked smaller.
Yeah.
Because it actually
It
fit them.
sounds like it doesn't
and
make
it's
sense,
like,
but it
yeah,
does.
you
It's
don't
just
need
a
to
more
torture
smooth
yourself
form.
for a certain number because
Right.
also none of these numbers are the same.
Well, and it's like, what are you going to do? Just not eat anything and then die? You're breastfeeding. You're breastfeeding, so you need to eat. And also, you need to
Yeah.
eat because you're human. Like, what are you going to do? Just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to stop eating until I get back to that size. You're literally going to die. You're human. You need to eat food.
for sure.
Like, you can't just do that. And you need energy because you're dying from sleep deprivation. And, like, it's just, yeah. So anyway,
When
That's
you
a
crave
lot.
carbs, especially extra after you don't sleep, because you just want these little
Oh my
spurts of
gosh.
energy because you're
Yes.
so,
So true.
tired.
yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
And how many?
there's a lot of
yeah,
things.
oof.
Well, here is a question.
Here's a question.
What's your mindset with your body image right now? And is that where you want to be, or are you striving for something different?
I feel like I'm definitely I've made so much progress. I feel like I've undone so many things. I don't really even know where I want to be because I feel like I haven't thought it through enough. But I feel like I've made so much progress. Like Katherine was saying, I feel like that is like a societal standard that's put on women, which is you need to fit back into your old size. I didn't even think about that, but that's like put on every woman basically. And I think we like subconsciously have that in our
Yeah, and
minds.
it's like seen as such like an achievement
And
too.
I think I used to think that, of course. I think everyone thinks that. And then I totally gave up on that. That took me several months, and I was like,
Who even wants
I
to
don't
wear
wanna-
jeans?
Yeah, I was like, why do I have to fit in
So
that size
uncomfortable.
again? Why do I have to make that a goal? That doesn't have to be my goal. I think initially I thought that had to be my goal.
Yeah.
I think you're told that's your goal.
Yeah.
And so letting go of that goal was like, I think that like was a challenge because it's like what you hear for years. So I've totally let go of that goal. I'm like, I don't have to be that size. That's stupid. I don't need that anymore, whatever. And so I've let go of things like that, where it's like, I don't have to be that size. There's not only like one way to look good.
Yes.
To be
Yes.
acceptable.
Yes.
Like I think I thought
So
like,
true.
oh, I look like this now. And to be attractive, you have to look like this. Therefore, I will never be attractive again. But then I learned, oh wait, that's not how it is. There are just plenty things about being you and like accepting yourself and whatnot that are attractive and beautiful. It really like challenged my mindset on what is like beauty and what can be beautiful.
Yes, this is getting to the heart of it.
Because we are really told like your stomach has to look like this to be beautiful, your legs have to look like this, your arms have to look like this, even though these things like change all the time with trends. But it made me think a lot about like, is that really what like beautiful is? And it did start to change my mind a lot. So I don't feel like I have to fit in this one thing, which I think I thought all those things directly postpartum. So I would say my mindset is like improving all the time, and I feel so much less pressure to have like all these certain things that I didn't realize were even on me. Like I think I realized when I was pregnant the pressure of like your stomach is supposed to be flat. Because as soon as my stomach was never like perfectly flat, but I think it was like looked pretty flat all the time. And as soon as like my stomach started growing, second pregnancy, I was like, and I felt like something's bad or wrong. And then I had to be like, wait a minute, no, this is not bad. And I have to keep saying that. It's not bad. And that's when I realized that mindset. Oh, I have a belief your stomach is supposed to be flat. And if it's not, it's bad. There's something wrong with you, especially when so many women just don't naturally have a flat stomach for different various reasons.
so
like
many
there's different body
reasons.
types and
But
such.
also, like, your stomach is not going to be naturally flat. There's a lot of organs and all
Yeah,
these
that's what I'm
things.
saying. So I think it's very
that is
rare
protecting.
that a woman will have the body type where it is like pretty naturally just like very flat. But then that's kind of what we see mostly in the media. So stuff like that I all these things were revealed to me that I didn't realize I even had in my head. Like I never consciously thought.
You know
them.
what you gotta do? You gotta look back at statues from like the old days of women, and you realize like, wow,
they had
this
a different
is not
standard.
like the
I look
perfectly
like a Greek
flat
goddess.
super thin.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's like
do.
this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Guys,
They're
I have
like,
a
this
weird-
is the ultimate.
I have a weird thing to share with you about
It's
the
just
flat
interesting.
stomach thing that will make you kind of question it. I can't remember where I heard this in my massive amounts of research I was doing on like intuitive eating and body image, but something somewhere said, and I don't know if this is true, but it makes sense to me. The reason that flat stomachs are idolized is because, you know, this is all very like, I think it's kind of sexist, honestly, like the whole beauty standards, they're all based on fertility
It's all
signs.
sexist.
Well, beauty standards are based on fertility signs. Big lips, oh, you are fertile. Because like big lips are associated with fertility, and like hips to waist ratio, all these things. Flat stomachs. This is so dumb. When you realize this, you're like, oh, we've been brainwashed. It's evolutionarily, apparently, I can't remember where I read this, so don't quote me. But when men, why are we doing this for men? We should do it for ourselves.
What
when
is it?
men see a flat stomach, they're like, oh, she's not pregnant, so I can get her pregnant. Isn't that really creepy?
That kind of makes sense.
That
It's
does
like,
make
it's
sense.
a sign of like an available partner
Well,
and like,
and
you know,
no
survival of the
offense,
fittest evolutionary thing.
Our body standards
That's
are
interesting.
created by high up men in the entertainment industry
Yes.
that have a lot of issues, as we have seen with
things
bad
coming out
things.
left and right.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, like,
They
the
want
flat
women to
stomach
look
thing
like
is really weird.
children.
That's so weird.
It doesn't
That's
make sense.
interesting.
It kind of makes sense. It's like, oh, clearly not pregnant. Available. It's just like, makes you feel like you need to take a shower. You're like, I don't want to be
Why don't
like,
you try? Why
Well,
don't
I
you
feel
try?
like it-
It's
Well,
hard. It's hard to accept. I don't really hear people say much like, "Oh yeah, a woman's stomach can come like out at the bottom, and that is normal,
at the
fine,
top.
good, great,
Anywhere.
whatever." Well,
Yeah.
like naturally, where it would, whatever, you know what I mean? Yes, anywhere.
Anywhere.
But especially there, where it like makes you look kind of pregnant when you're not. Maybe you're bloated or you
When I'm
have all sorts of
bloated,
things.
now I can be like 6 months pregnant
For sure.
easily. It
Even
like
though I am right now, but
really
for sure.
grows. It's a big
and the Birds
change.
Papaya did a really good post about this. You know the Birds Papaya? She's like,
yeah.
she posts a picture of her pregnant with her giant stomach, and then she posted a picture of her afterwards with the loose skin and kind of stretched out stomach, and then she wrote, "Make sense." And I was like, that is like mind blowing.
I
Like,
love that.
there was a person in there. Makes sense that it would stretch it out.
Makes sense.
And it wouldn't
I
be
love
like why would it be like this vacuum sealed thing when it was literally stretched so far?
It is weird to think like, oh, so then not she, any of us are supposed to not be attractive anymore, or like it's not supposed to be okay anymore. Like think about if a man gains weight and then you're like, oh, I'm not attracted anymore. Gotta leave. See ya.
No, that's
like if your
husband,
your husband gains weight, you're like,
my
oh,
gosh.
don't like him anymore.
If Max gained weight, I would not care at all. I literally would not
and
care.
then if he like lost it and had like loose skin, you're like, oh, don't like you anymore.
I don't even think I'd be less attracted to him. I feel like I'm attracted to him as a person, like who he is as a person. It's not just, oh, you look a certain way and that's the only thing I care about. Like, that sounds
or else
horrible.
How are you going to grow old with someone? Because then they're totally going to change their looks. And then you're just like, oh, not
Guess
attracted
when
to you
else
anymore.
your skin's going to sag? When you're old. It's just what
my
happens.
God,
Gravity. Makes
Okay,
sense.
what do you guys want to add to what's your mindset
wait, you
with
didn't
body
answer
image?
the question yet.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I was kind of
I don't know what my mindset is. All I can think of when you ask that is sometimes I see my body in the mirror and my first thing is, gotta change that. And then my second thought goes, it's actually fine. It's like a weird, like the second thought where I it's like a conditioning thing of like, oh, gotta change that. And then my feeling comes through of like, I don't actually feel that bad about it. Like, it's fine.
Okay,
The
yeah.
thing that I realized when I
Progress.
gained weight before my wedding, which was nothing now, I realize compared now that I've been at different weights, I'm like, girl, shut your mouth. But like you're blind. I was like, oh my gosh, I look so bad. Look at this picture of me before. Look at me now. But it's
now,
like,
if you look
but
at it-
I realized even back then, I was like, you know what? First of all, your hair is a different color too. Everything's different. But it's like, you just look different. You don't look bad.
Yeah.
And
like,
different doesn't have to equal bad.
as I'm much bigger than I
a good
was then,
point.
it's like, yeah, I look different, but I don't look
That's a good
bad.
point.
Who says that there's only one version of you that looks good? I know that's not true because
Ooh.
I've changed my hair, I think 36 times now.
Girl,
I look good in a
iconic.
million different ways.
That's a really good
And the more
point.
that you realize that, the more you dress in different styles. And that's the thing with postpartum too. It's like, I realized next time I'm going to buy all this stuff that comes in at the waist and just flows out. That's what you want. Because I would try to be like, oh, I don't want to wear anything tight. I'm going to wear a giant t-shirt. I feel like an ugly weirdo. That doesn't work
Yeah.
either. Or you put on a
like an
big
ugly weirdo.
sweatshirt. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't feel
You
cute.
feel like you're hiding
You
yourself.
want these things that like just fit just
Yeah.
right and then they're flowy. So that's what I'm going to do. But it's like you can make it so much easier on yourself if just fit and flare.
That's
Give yourself a little
I just thought
waist
of
and
one
then
thing, sorry.
loosen up.
Love
But yeah,
it.
I don't know. I
One
guess
thing when you said
makes
that, that's a
sense.
really good point that goes together with what she was saying, because as we get away from, like farther away from the Hollywood beauty standard, we think we're more and more and more unattractive, which is kind of what you're saying, like, oh, I'm getting farther away.
Yeah.
I'm more unattractive. But then as we learn even more about the Hollywood beauty standards and we learn like about actresses who were told they had to like lose all this weight and look a certain way by the man in charge who was like a psycho who later, ends up going to jail or whatever because he likes that specific look. And he only hires all these women who look the specific way because that's what he likes. And it's like more of a creepy thing. And then that's like what's in every movie and show. And then you're like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be. But then when you get to the root of it, it's like, no, I'm not going to let all these weirdos control like my perception of myself and my goals for myself and think that if I get farther away from this weird standard of a lot of women that we've now learned who are like really being mistreated, like that's the standard, I'm supposed to fall into that now, that equals bad. So it's more just like I look different now, not I'm getting farther away from this and I need to get back to that because that's going to control me.
You can look good
Yeah.
a million different ways.
That's really interesting.
Maybe you
How
need
about
to
you,
change
Kat?
more.
Yeah, I was just gonna say my mindset that I feel like this is a lifelong journey because it's not just postpartum. Postpartum is one aspect of a lifelong problem that I would say not just women but men. I am trying to completely deconstruct and reconstruct my broken view of my body that has been literally my entire life, no matter what
Yes.
size I was. And I think what it comes down to for me, I'm realizing, is separating your body from your worth. Because those two things are not the same thing. They're not even related. You're like, I think Lisa said this before, and I think about this a lot. You said this a while ago. Like, a lot of times when we're taking things out in our bodies, it's because of a deeper feeling of lack of self-worth.
Or
We
whatever,
don't-
fill in the blank. I realize sometimes I think my body looks bad because I think I'm a bad mom.
Right. So I'm like, but it's
It's different.
shame.
Yeah.
Lisa, you're a great mom.
But it's like,
in my opinion.
Misdirected
Yeah,
shame.
yes.
Well, it's
Misdirected
just a
shame.
sign of a different problem. It's just a symptom.
And
It's
if you
not
like,
the issue.
if you go deeper,
Interesting.
we're talking about, feeling attractive, which I think most people want to feel attracted. I don't think
You
that's a
don't want
bad
to be
thing.
abandoned and alone and
But
rejected
it's like,
by everyone.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
like it's not that you want everyone in the world to be attracted to you. Maybe
No.
you do. But if you do, what I would say from my observation, just my opinion, take it or leave it, is if you feel that way, because I felt that way in different times in my life, I want everyone to be attracted to me. Then you think about it and you're like, actually, I want to be seen. I want to be loved.
You
I
mean
want
like
to
treated well.
I want to
feel
And the
significant.
attention feels like love, even though it's not. And you realize if you get to a point where you are getting a lot of attention, and I felt like that at certain times. Oh, 2 different guys are hitting me up. Wow, I've really made it. Whatever.
I've
You
made
realize
it.
that actually didn't cure the feeling that's
You're like,
still
dang
there.
it, it's still there.
So I want to
Yeah.
separate my body from worth because they are not related in any way.
Yeah.
Your body is just your body. I want to focus my body specifically on health and long-term health goals of like, I think I said this last episode, but like being a grandma that can get down on the floor and play with my kids and run around, go on hikes, like be out in the garden. This is the type of lifestyle that I see for myself: active
Taking
and
care
and
of.
fun and movement. The good things. But my body is not related to that in any way. The way that I look and people approving of me, my husband approving of me, which he doesn't care either. I've gained so much weight since my pregnancy. He does not care at all. But that still doesn't define me the way that he views me. Even if he did care, if he had an issue in that department and was like, you have to look a certain way, that still doesn't define
Sleeping
me
on
and
the
doesn't
couch.
make me lovable or not.
You're out of my
So
house.
I'm trying to
Get out.
legitimately like separate the two because my body
that.
is always going to change, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Gonna keep sagging as you get older. You're gonna gain weight more easily as your metabolism slows down. Your hair's gonna turn gray. You can do all this stuff to try to fight nature, but that feeling of emptiness is never gonna go away because that's not your body.
true.
It's something different.
You tell him,
so
God.
true.
So our last question for you ladies today is, what ended up working for you as your health and fitness routine and what didn't? And also, how do you stick to it? The
Okay.
things that ended up
A
working.
great question.
Here we go. So, I've tried multiple things at this point. I've tried everything. No, I was just walking in the beginning. That was good for like my mental health, whatever. I didn't really see like results from walking, but it was nice. So, and it was good to get active. I guess I saw the result that I wanted of like feeling like I could move. So that was good. And then I've been kind of sticking with my diabetes diet. Like first I went way off it because I was like, I'm free. And then I kind of naturally came back to it just because I was like, it doesn't feel good to eat so much sugar and carbs all the time. And then I just found out I'm pre-diabetic.
knew.
So good thing. And then, and now I don't know. TBD, because I was doing this high intensity cycling because I got a Peloton in my upstairs room, which I really recommend getting something in your house.
Yes.
It's so much easier than trying to leave every day and go. Like that's when I actually
Yes.
started working out all the time when I got that.
Yes.
But apparently that's not good for your insulin to do like really high intensity exercise. So I don't know what I'm
You
doing.
could probably do it more leisurely.
on a new
but
journey.
That makes my gosh, I just want to drive right through the wall. I'm like, what? It's so boring.
Oh, you know what? I
want
used to
feel
turn
something.
on the TV. I used to put on a TV
they have
show and
don't
just
know. Maybe
bike
you could do
for like an
spurts.
Do they have
I
hour.
don't
leisurely
know.
strolls on
Well,
Peloton?
no. Here's the real thing: is I have to figure out what exercise I'm supposed to do
Yeah.
for my
Oh, that's
blood
true.
sugar.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm doing
You
now.
have a lot of experimenting.
But I'm gonna stick with my diabetes diet because I know what to do there pretty much. So
That's
Good
good.
for you.
She's in there, especially they're both like in the thick of it right now. They're only what,
9.5
and
months.
7.
So that's still like in the beginning.
But now I feel like I got information as to why my body's working the way it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
So get your blood
I
work
know.
and
Now
damn
I'm
it.
like really convicted. I'm
you
like,
should
I
go
need to get my
all
blood
your
work.
levels
Yes.
checked. Because I
got
got a lot of
pressure.
mine, but I didn't get that.
There's so many things it could be.
I don't know why I didn't get that. I got a bunch of stuff checked postpartum, but I didn't even get my progesterone and estrogen. I should have done those too.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of other stuff. But okay, so for me, mine was a very long journey because 15 months is when I got pregnant again, and I didn't feel like I had gotten back to a place where I felt like really good. But I was like, you know what? That's okay because I had such a horrifyingly bad first like 9 months. Was just so bad with my mental and physical health, and it was just all these different things happening once, whatever. So I kind of gave myself just a big pass. I'm like, we're getting a big pass for this, and we're just gonna just slowly ease our way into it. So I did get my strength back. which was
Love
major
that.
key.
Huge. That is
Major key.
huge.
Huge for me. So for me, what worked was working out in the morning before Barrett woke up at my house and doing 20, maybe 30, but oftentimes 20, 25-minute workouts. And when I started, like, I couldn't do one push-up on my knees. I remember being like, oh my gosh, that was the low point. I'm like, I can't even do one push-up on my knees. And getting up off the floor was so hard. I was like, oh, it hurts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get up off the floor. I'm like 30 years old. This is really not where I wanted to be. Maybe I was 31. I can't remember. And so that was depressing.
30.
But what helped was doing those workouts almost every day, and they weren't even that long, but I did get my strength back. So it did happen. I was able to do push-ups again. I was able to get up off the floor.
Love it.
I felt fine again. I was able to do my longer walks again, and it was just slow consistency all the time. And then for like for eating specifically, I didn't really find anything that specifically helped. I was really in a, that's my new goal for this next, I'm actually really excited for this next postpartum period, like really excited
It's gonna be
go
so much
into it,
better.
not blind. But I didn't really find anything that helped. But I think towards the end of that 15 months, I was starting to get somewhere. But I was in this like cycle of like, leaning on food as my only like way to up my mood.
Yeah.
Because like
what
emotional
else,
eating.
What else do you have the space for?
And it didn't
when
feel,
you're in survival mode.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel
So hard.
very good.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like I was eating and then I was just eating again when I wasn't even hungry anymore. Like
the high of food
I
goes
was
away
eating like
so
an hour and a
fast.
half. Yeah, I'm eating like an hour and a half later.
4
I'm like,
bites. You're like, this
just
is gross.
so much and I'm eating more and I'm not even hungry, and I was like, I just want to feel hungry. I don't want to not feel hungry. Like I wouldn't feel hungry like at all because I'd be eating all the time. Like, ooh, gotta get the rush again, basically. And it just didn't feel good. It felt really like out of control and just like in a bad way. And I never did any calorie like cutting or restricting or anything like that. I didn't try anything at all. So I'm curious to try some new things this time around. I counted my calories for one day. I worked with a nutritionist, but we weren't really working on cutting calories. Yeah. We were just working on me not
Just
feeling like
taking
trash
stock,
anymore.
you
That's
know?
a good thing. Seeing a nutritionist, that was helpful. Made me feel a lot better. Getting everything tested, which I didn't get everything apparently, but I found out my cortisol was horrifyingly bad, but I found out a bunch of other stuff was good that made me feel better. Working on sleep, that was really huge. So I think those things all helped. And yeah, I mean, the one day that I counted my calories, it was pretty shockingly high number to me. I was like, whoa, I can't believe I eat that much every day. But I wasn't like, nah, I'm gonna cut it down. I was like, well, I don't feel like cutting it down right now. I'm not really at that place in my life to even cut it like 200 down, which probably would have been a very respectably fine number if I'd cut it down. But I wasn't at that place. So at this point in my life, here's my summary. I think going into like the next postpartum period in a few months, I do think it's fine if you are at a very good amount of calories that you're eating and then you're working with a nutritionist and they cut you down a tiny bit. That to me sounds acceptable if it's like you realize things seem to not be right with you. But I don't believe in like, oh, I'm eating 1,200 calories a day or even like 1,600, anything like that. Like that's so little for like me personally, my body, my metabolism, what I know that I eat. So I'm never going to do anything like that. I literally can't. I don't think I can do that. So I'll never be doing that. But I might experiment next time with cutting down a little bit and seeing what happens. But I didn't do that once.
I realized just saying what worked for me, working out when she naps and when I can, working out on weekends because I work during the week, and then after work sometimes going on like a big walk with Lily at like 5 o'clock. That's the schedule I found that works for me. I can't do the morning. I need to sleep.
I can't do the evening. I feel
early
too tired.
evening and then weekend afternoons.
Works for you.
Yes.
Your
Love it.
schedule. Okay, what about you? Still in the thick of it though?
Yeah, I feel like in
You're
the very
7.5
beginning.
months.
Yeah, in the very beginning, I actually talked to Max about this the other day. I was like, how did we survive? Like looking back
have
on
no idea.
the first 3 to 4 months, I don't know. I was
a
literally,
blur.
it was the lowest point of my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, mine was the most
to
point of my
take
life,
care of
too.
twins post preeclamptic, post like on these awful I know I talked about this last one, but I literally never felt worse in my life blood pressure medicine, which is literally the devil. Post preeclampsia, which my body was under so much stress. Like preeclampsia, you're like nearing organ failure. Like it's really serious and scary. So all these, my body was just like, and I remember like I couldn't even walk to the mailbox. That was where I started. I literally, my heart would start racing. I think that was actually my meds.
It ain't right.
But it was like, like I could not move. And I remember like, just with pregnancy, I got so tight. It was like sitting on the couch because I literally couldn't walk without massive back pain because of how heavy my twins were in my stomach. It was like getting up to like
makes you feel worse.
Yeah, go
But
down on the
you
mat and
can't
play
walk
and try to
around.
play with the babies. I was like, my back. So I literally felt, I started at the lowest point I've ever felt in my fitness journey of just like debilitated. That's how I felt. And I was mentally so in the trash and just felt really horrible. So I started with what I thought would be fun, which was trying bar classes. And I'm really proud of myself. Some of the ladies in the studio were like, wow, you're 3 months postpartum and you're doing bar? I was like crying on the couch at 3 months postpartum. So I am proud of myself that I at least tried something. I started, and you know what? My back pain did get a lot better because they said, and you build your core, your back pain gets better. Because I had horrible postpartum back pain from all the bending over and rocking. And it's kind of starting to come back which I'll get to that. But so I started doing bar classes and I did get stronger and I started to feel better. I could actually get down on the ground, pick up the babies. I was like, whoa, I can do this. But then I started to realize that mentally it was making a negative impact to me. My friend was going to the classes too, and she said the same thing. We both were like, it feels like it's all these, and again, this could be my own total judgment that I'm putting things in people's heads, but just the vibe that I felt was like, it feels like it's all these women, and this could also just be the studio in my experience, that were like looking in the mirror and looking at their bodies and wanting to like change them, and it just didn't feel positive. It felt like a really sad, and like to me it felt kind of like a negative environment.
I feel like
Now
working
I'm
out in a
thinking
room that has full of mirrors is really toxic for
I just
you.
know every time I left the class I wanted to cry because I was like,
That's not a good sign.
Because you're staring at your body in
but I just
the
kept
mirror
thinking,
for an hour.
it's my own problems. I just need to work through it. But it was like, this is really happening every time. So there's a pattern here. So I decided bar is not for me. And also what Lisa and Christina both said is like major key. When the babies are napping, that is my time. Sorry, I just joined Copilot, which is like an app, and they help you. It's like they connect you with a trainer.
I do too.
And Christina does it too. And so this trainer made a whole workout for me because I was so scared. Like I'm postpartum. Like I don't want to like.
What can I do?
Yeah, what can I do?
What am I gonna
'Cause,
hurt myself?
Yeah.
Women, I like went to the physical therapist and I have like ab separation. So like you don't
too.
want to make that worse by doing the wrong exercises. So
Wait, do they go back together?
I think most of the time.
For the most part,
Wait,
if
what?
you help them.
But when you have ab
okay.
separation, diastasis
Oh yeah,
recti.
I think I had some, but not everyone's does at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some.
So I had some of that. So anyway, that was a big hurdle for me. So what worked? So all that stuff, didn't work, the bar stuff. But what works for me is shorter workouts when the babies are napping. I did one yesterday for the first time, and I felt like I was getting the flu. But Max was like, he's like, every time you start your new workout routines, like you always feel like you're getting the flu. Is there something wrong? And I was like, I
do
don't
too.
know.
That happens to me too.
I was looking it up online, and apparently if you do workout for the first time, you get like high levels of human growth hormone, and that can make you get flu-like symptoms.
I always feel like that.
So I'm like,
I totally relate.
it wasn't even a hard workout. It was like literally created by a trainer for me in my postpartum state. But anyway.
Well, I think your body's just moving again. A lot
It's
of
probably
stuff's
hard
going
from where you're
everywhere.
at.
And also, so then evening walks too. For me,
Yeah.
like I finish work, the babies, there's like this nice window of time where they have their last bottle and there's 2 hours till bedtime or an hour and a half till bedtime. So I'm like, I can go on a walk around my neighborhood and the weather's been beautiful. So yeah, I would say finding stuff that works for you where you are and going on walks because walking is really good for you. Don't
Amazing.
underestimate. Yeah, it's like actually supposed to be really good
Mental
for like
and
your
physical
pelvic
health.
floor repair and all
It's
this
good
stuff.
for
So yeah,
Love
walking
walking.
and doing small, simple exercise at home while the babies are asleep and not going to classes where there's a bunch of mirrors and you're comparing yourself to other women.
Hey, you know what really helps? Because I'm trying to get more of a workout with my walk. I drive to a very close by neighborhood with hills, and I do the hills. So it's like some
Mine
flats, some
has
hills.
Love
It's
it.
nice.
So yeah.
All right, should we get to
Okay,
Sister
well.
Spotlight?
Yeah.
See, we had a lot more to say.
a lot more to say.
Okay, so let's go to Sister Spotlight. This is the last thing where we put the spotlight on one different sister each week with Get Real with Christina, Sappy or Sassy Thoughts with Kath, Lisa's Corner, Amy's Current Crisis, or Lauren's Take. And this week, the sister with the spotlight on her is... Ding!
It's Katherine.
Hey. Okay, so I'm going to start off with is it a caveat or a caveat?
Caveat?
Caveat, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Seems like caveat.
I'll put this on for a minute. My princess
Katherine,
hat.
where did you get that?
Ariel gave it to me. Guys, I'm like burning
It's from the Superstar
up. Oh my
video.
gosh.
Take your
Let me this
jacket off.
It's from a video. Superstar.
I feel like this is taking away from my point, though. Maybe I should wear it backwards. No. So you can't see the princess part. Okay,
Wait,
there we go.
what? Okay,
Okay,
so
let's hear it.
Okay, so I just have a short thought for you. And this is, I don't really know if this is sappy or sassy, but this is just something that in my life
see.
has been relevant. So I would say relevant thoughts with Kat.
Okay.
And this
Love
is the
it.
thought that keeps coming to mind over and over again that has just been like, yeah, you don't know until you try. Let me explain. So, with my sons, something that is a daily burden, no offense, love my sons,
no offense.
is nap
Dominic
time.
and Leah.
Nap time. It's so hard. Sometimes they take great naps. Most of the times they don't. And it's like this, you know, when you're a mom, it's this like really intricate system where you're like staring at them in the dark. You're reading their signals. Are they asleep? Are they about to wake up? If I lay them down, is their eye gonna pop open? And you're sitting there and your anxiety is just going up and you're like, I don't know. So you just sit there rocking them forever until you're like, they're literally passed out and their arm is like flailing and you're like, okay, I know they're asleep. But I realized, and this all relates to life, I realized a few times I just took a chance. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lay him down. I'm just going to try it. And if he wakes back up, I'll scoop him back up before his brother hears him crying so he doesn't wake him up. It's all this intricate science with putting twins to bed. And I realized a few times I just laid them down when their eyes weren't even closed and they put themselves to sleep.
Oh.
And guess what? I would have never known that had I not tried. And this just applies to so many things in life. Like, I feel like so many things in life, I'm so afraid to try. And I don't know. And it's like, okay, this is something that I've been trying with Amazon recently. You know how you order something on Amazon and it's like, it will arrive in 2 months. I realized, this is like major key life hack. Well, don't
your word
follow
on
my advice on this, but I'm just telling you this is what I'm doing.
What?
When it says that you order it and it's going to be in your house in 2 months, a lot of times it's a lie. They're under promising and over delivering. I had to take this off. They're under promising and over delivering. So I ordered this pair of pants and it said, oh, it'll be at your house in 2 months. And I was like, I just know if I don't try that I won't know. So I ordered these pants that I really wanted, and guess what? They just shipped. And it said it was going to be coming in 2 months.
Wait, how much time was it?
Like less than a week.
Oh.
So this is what I'm saying. You know, just take a risk. Sometimes it's kind of reckless. You know, ordering the pants that you really want, that you need, but you don't know that when they're going to come. But I just keep telling myself, I won't know unless I tried. And yes, maybe I'll be the fool waiting at my door for 2 months, but I would never have known if I hadn't tried.
Good for you.
So yeah,
Very
I would just
true.
say, give that advice to yourself when you need it and see what you think. See what
Maybe they're
happens.
shipping from like Australia. It's gonna
But
take
it's
a long
happened so
time.
many times that I'm starting to realize. I almost feel like I'm like internet, you know, rolling the dice with the
Gambler?
packages. Well, no, just rolling the dice. No gambling involved. So yeah,
Interesting.
you don't know until you
It
try.
really was in the middle of
I
sappy
was
and
like
sassy.
inspirational.
It was inspirational thoughts
Meaningful
with Kat.
thoughts.
Yeah, it really was in the middle. All right, well, thank you guys
Thank you for watching.
and thank you so much to our patrons. Again, if you want all the episodes, go to Patreon, link in the description on YouTube, and join for a month and see if you like it. There's so many great episodes on Patreon, especially from the last season that were Patreon only, so you got to check it out, guys. We'll see you. Oh, in the next episode, we're going over more unpopular opinions.
Oh.
That'll be fun. So we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.